Well, Amanda, thank you so much for coming to chat with me today. I've been looking forward to this for a few weeks since we booked, and I've been seeing so many changes in you, and I just wanted to reach out and have a little chat. And I'm so grateful to have you here. So thank you for taking your time away of all your careers and your family and everything to come and chat with us today. So thank you
Yes.
and welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, Amanda, I'm going to ask you some questions. And the first question, I'm curious, and maybe some other people might be curious on what made you reach out to me to decide to book a consultation and go ahead with like what was motivating you to say, hey, maybe I should talk to Dawn and see if she
Yeah.
can help me with hypnotherapy.
Yeah, all honest, I'll be 100% honest. I don't know where you showed up into my life. I couldn't tell you where you came from. You just came from God or something. And I have been told, that sometimes coaches and people just appear in your life when you need them. So that's kind of I think that's what happened. Something that I didn't know that I needed for sure. And, hypnotherapy was made me very curious.
Mhm.
And so I would say that would be where it stemmed from was my curiosity. I was like, following you and seeing some things that you posted made me wonder, like, maybe this might be a way that I can get through some blocks because I was doing all the right things of working on my goals, but there was something that was holding me back and I wasn't really sure what it was. And you were able to dig deep on our first consultation call, discovery call. You kind of talked about digging deep down into this root in my brain of things from the past that I might not even know that affect me today. And again, I was like, that's interesting, but it sounds good. Like if you can dig into my brain in places that I've shut out or I don't know that are affecting me and my goals now, then let's move forward. So
Awesome.
that's kind of how it started.
That's awesome. I truly believe that there's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything in life happens for a reason. And I've experienced that in my life. So it's so cool I know I'm not alone in that view.
Yeah.
So what was happening in your life that you decided, to, okay, I'm going to do this. You're going to, invest the time, invest the money. What was going on in your life that made you decide to just jump in and go for it?
Yeah, yeah. For me, I was building a business, right? I wanted to maybe shift paths in my career and I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know how to do it. Or like I said, I felt like I was doing all the right steps and I could see other people being successful, but why not me? But I also had a lot of emotions and things going on in my life, losing a loved one and then knowing that my parents both were going to be gone. And it was just like, man, I had a lot going on in my life and I didn't really know how to balance. I didn't know how to, even though, like I said, I thought I was doing all the right things, but there was something maybe deep in the back of my mind of dealing and processing some of the suck of life that was
Yeah.
going on. And honestly, it was probably some of the things that were happening previously in my life that I didn't fully go through the emotions or when I'm going to speak of loss. So when you lose someone, my mother,
Mhm.
9 years ago, I don't really know that if I've processed it completely. Grief is something that you hold on to forever, you know? So I think some of that was still going on with me. And I think even like self-love or the self-doubt, that can stem from way, way back when. And I can think of a few instances, even from like elementary school, that really stabbed you in the heart. And of course, you think you rise above, but little self-doubt creeps in.
Yeah. And so you notice what I'm hearing you say is you notice some issues kind of like on and off, like, and once we started working together, you realized that there was some unresolved stuff from like back that you really maybe
Yes.
weren't like 100% aware that it was even related to what was happening in your business,
Yes.
right? And in your life now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I probably didn't say that just like you did, but yes, it was like I knew something was there, but I didn't know what.
Mhm.
But in your questioning and through your hypnosis, it allowed me to realize and it come back to light and resurface so then I could move forward through it.
Right. So before you and I met and started working together in our partnership with using hypnosis and some coaching, and what had you tried in the past to get past these blocks in your business specifically?
Mhm. So, I've worked with other coaches before, mostly business structure,
Hmm.
all great things. I do the exact same thing now, but I'm moving forward and before I was stuck. I feel like just, I had a lot of tools in my toolbox. I made mental wellness a big priority, which is great dealing with what I'm dealing with now.
Hmm.
But it was the stuff from the past that doing those things wasn't helping or addressing those. So you were able to help me kind of go back and
Hmm.
pluck them out.
Hmm. Hmm. And when you think about that process and when we were working together, you know, what was your perception of hypnosis and hypnotherapy before you actually did it? Because you've never done hypnosis or hypnotherapy before we met to resolve issues. Is that correct?
Right. Correct. Yeah. So I told you I was curious, and honestly, I didn't think that I could be hypnotized. So I was very curious, like, oh, I wonder if I'll even do anything or feel anything. And the first one, I don't know if you remember, my head dropped like boom,
I remember.
and there was a moment that I just started to cry. And it was the weirdest thing. I remember telling my husband when we were done, like, I don't know how to explain it. And again, it was just me being open to listening and you guiding me. And I felt really, really good when I was done. And I still don't really know how to explain it. But, through our couple meetings that we did do, it was just like a little bit more lifted off my shoulders, a little bit more lifted off my shoulders. And I felt like once I came through that, you know, it helped me be able to move forward. And then the passing of my father, it was just through a really rough patch. I feel like I came out,
Hmm.
a phoenix on the other side.
And we haven't talked since you lost your dad not too
Yeah.
long ago, and loss is no stranger in your world, that's for sure. And
Mhm.
so um, I know we worked on some self hypnosis. I'm curious, have you been implementing your self hypnosis to help you through some of this stuff that's been happening?
Yes, I feel like no, I definitely don't do it like you do. But and I don't know, I do feel like it is a blend maybe for me. I kind of incorporate it sometimes with my prayer.
Mhm.
But like going to bed at night is when I do it the most. Um, I did it the other day riding in the car. It was like my kids were just so loud and noisy around me, and it was like I wasn't driving, by the way. I was riding. But yeah, yeah. And it was just, I feel like meditate I don't know if people want to call it meditation or self-hypnosis or, getting really deep into your faith and prayer. Maybe it's a little bit of all of that, but you're able to give someone kind of the tools to get deeper into it, I feel like.
Hmm. Hmm. So if you reflect back on the time that we spent together, which was very short, you achieved a lot of amazing things over. I can still see the shifting happening, which is pretty awesome. I'm so
Mhm.
excited. I see you on social and how your business is growing and new businesses are happening. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
How would you describe your experience to those people who don't know, are curious, but they're hesitant, how would you
Mhm.
describe, because you're a nurse, right? In your
Yeah,
full-time career, you're a nurse, a practicing nurse, and so that's a whole thing on its own. And then you do business, and you have a husband, and you have kids. So would you be able to kind of explain what your experience has been? So maybe that would help
yeah.
people kind of know about.
Mhm. Yeah, so like I said, it all stemmed from me being curious, and we talked every time when we met, it was just be curious and open.
Yeah.
So if you're a little bit curious, do it.
Mhm.
If you're like on the fence of, I don't know if this will work for me, you're not going to know unless you try it.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I think that if you're open to trying, then you should. If you're like, nope, this just won't work for me, I'm kind of going to challenge you to maybe do it. Um, when it comes to our health, you know, a lot of times in the hospitals, or not to say our doctors aren't good at what they do, because absolutely they are, but they do have one toolbox, and it's often a prescription pad,
Mhm.
you know, and talk therapy is great, right? But sometimes you don't want to talk about the shit from the past. You
Mhm.
don't you don't want to bring it up. And this you don't have to talk about. It's
Mhm.
literally Dawn telling you crazy things. I want to say it, crazy things. I don't know. I don't sometimes I was like, what? I don't know, but okay. And you interpret it however you want to. And then it worked. And when you're done, you have this aha moment of clarity, I feel like.
Mhm. Mhm. So what did it feel
Yeah.
like after, do you remember after your first session? And I
Mhm.
can't, we've done a couple of sessions for sure. How many did we do, Amanda? Was it 2 or 3?
That's, I think we did 5. I think 5.
So how did you feel after the sessions? Because we did them in the evenings.
Mhm.
And so what was that feeling like to you at the end of the session, and how you kind of like the next few days, because we did our sessions the week apart. So
Yeah.
what was that feeling like as your kind of like week went on? Was there any like aha moments that you discovered? Was it a kind of
Mhm.
gentle process? Like, could you give any clarity on how your
Yeah.
experience transformed?
I feel like maybe, like I said, kind of you feel like a weight maybe is lifted off your shoulders, or a little bit of enlightenment.
Mhm.
I felt like subtle things, and maybe it wasn't just the way that you might respond to something, or let something affect you. um use use some like you're passionate about something, and somebody that you love and care about, maybe even a family member, thinks that you're crazy, or they don't have the same belief as you, and sometimes you let the opinion of others really bother you. So with this, it's kind of brought to your light of maybe something from the past that really triggered that for you, or is your why. And then this allowed you to at least recognize and say, you know what, that's not going to affect me today. And then you can move forward. And so those are the things that I noticed.
Yeah, and that's absolutely amazing. And I'm nodding yes, because I've been through, I don't even know how many sessions of hypnosis doing my own inner work, because I do practice
Mhm.
what I preach. And as you're talking and sharing your story, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, and I'm trying hard not to
Yeah.
fit in. So I definitely relate to that. So when you look at your life now, what do you, after we've done this work, you've done this work, because I didn't do this work, you did all this yourself. I need
Mhm.
to make sure we remind people of that. Is that, what are you looking most forward to with your business, your life, your family, now that you've gotten past those things?
Yes, I honestly, I feel that the self-doubt, I think, is in the question of failing. Maybe even though I thought that I had all this belief in myself, there's always that what if question.
Mhm.
So I feel like moving forward, I don't have that. It's just it's not what if, it's just I'm doing this, and I'm going to continue doing this until whatever I die, right? We're going to keep working on goals until we die. So for me, that's really exciting for me in growing my own coaching business and really being able to help moms find purpose and address their mental wellness so they can move forward. Because as you and I recently just talked, burnout and stress and overwhelm are real things, especially for moms and working moms. So
Yeah, and
I'm excited about that.
I just absolutely love that when you told me what you're branching out into now, coaching and helping working moms, and it's you're passionate about it, and I can see all the amazing things and when we started and how you are now. Especially I see your social media presence, which is absolutely amazing. So, and that's the thing, it's all about lifting people up. How can we help people
Right.
get past these things, right? As
Yeah.
easy as possible. Because sometimes we have these this stuff that needs to be dealt with, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who keeps putting off fixing their problems and frustrations in life?
Okay, so it's my slogan. You're going to hear me say this all over if you follow me, or anything like that, and it's written right here and it's tattooed here. Someday, right? Someday is not promised. So you continue to put it off. You continue to put it off. And the one question I often ask people is, what is 1 year going to look like? And they're like, well, if I don't do anything, if I don't change anything, I'm probably just going to be the same. And my response to you is no, you're going to have lost time, right? Time that you could be feeling better, time that you could be happier, time that you could be pouring more into other people. But instead, you're choosing to keep putting it off till someday. And someday is not promised. I know that because I lost two people, who often talked about completing their dreams someday, and it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're a very young woman, and you've outlived both your parents, and it can happen. Unfortunately, it can happen, and yeah. So thank you for sharing that, and I love that. Someday. We always think someday, someday, someday. It's not someday. It's now.
Right.
It's now, because there's no time like the present, because we are losing time, and we really don't realize how much time we have left. And coming
Right.
from someone like myself, I lost my dad suddenly to a massive heart attack, and he was fine before that, and so someday can come faster for some people. So
Absolutely.
thanks for sharing that. So what
Yeah,
would you
you're
say,
welcome.
Amanda, was the most important thing for you in achieving success with your sessions with me? What was that kind of like one important thing that helped you achieve success when we were working together?
You told me to be open and curious. And I said, okay, I'm going to be open and curious. And I'm just going to listen, and I'm just going to let my mind go wherever it needs to go. And that's what I would say. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, be open and
You
curious.
don't have to do much work at all.
Right. And so thank you for sharing that. And so some people think it's going to be exhausting mentally. We're going to be turning up a
Mm,
lot of this emotional turmoil and trauma.
yeah.
Did you experience anything like that? Because you said you had some tears.
Mhm.
Was that trauma tears? What kind of tears were those?
No, no, it was not trauma tears at all. It was, um, I don't even know what kind of tears they were. They weren't happy. In a way, they were happy tears, but they definitely weren't trauma tears. I think it was just my mind went to a place that I didn't think that I could go,
Mhm.
and I felt connected with my mom, and I don't know, it was weird.
And a release. That
Yeah,
for
a
me,
release.
because a lot of my clients go through what you went through, is that uh, tears release, and I also experienced that as well. And it's a gentle process, right? So
Yeah,
I'm so grateful that we met and we connected, and
me
and
too.
and and serendipity. Everything happens for a reason, and I
Yeah,
will always be connected with you, even though that our
okay.
work around what we've done together has finished.
Yes.
You know, and when other things come up, like that's what happens. That's why we're together.
Right.
And I learn from you. I grow from my clients, and there's nothing that fills my heart more than seeing my clients succeed in what they set out to do. You want to retire, right? From nursing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
order
in a way. Yeah.
to you want to give up your career as a nurse and pivot like in a totally different place. And I'm seeing that pivot happen every single day on social media. You're never going to stop being a nurse,
Right.
but you now have something else. You have a different success ladder. You are
Hmm.
climbing something that gives you more purpose and passion, right?
Right. Right.
I
Right.
love it. I love that. Thank you so much, Amanda. I really appreciate your
You're
time.
welcome.
And I know that with everything that's going on in this world, you're busier than ever. So thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And if you have any questions about Amanda's experience, you can reach out to me, message in this video here. And if you are curious if hypnotherapy might help you with your issue, or if you're looking into a mom coaching mamas, what was exactly your coaching mamas?
I help high achieving moms find their purpose and put their mental wellness first.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So if that relates to you at all, you want to reach out to Amanda. She's amazing. I will definitely get you in touch
Aw,
with her. And yeah, until the next time we talk, Amanda, thank you so much for your time. And
you're
I'm wishing you
welcome.
lots of love and light and success.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that post about retiring from your nursing career in the next year, probably, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
tell my boss. Don't tell my boss.
Tell your boss. I won't tell your boss. Just make sure your boss is not on social media.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my dear. Well, until next time, thank you so much. And I appreciate your time. And we will touch base again soon. And yes, thank you so much for everything,
You're welcome. Thank you.
my friend. Bye. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks,
See
guys.
ya.